I just spent hours working on the exterior of a really fancy house in The Sims, and today we're gonna try and furnish it. This is the house that I'm talking about. I built this for my legacy challenge. I've got this Sims family I've had for like 8 generations, and they're going to live here. But you see, I spent so long working on the exterior that I haven't exactly done the interior yet. I did post a speed build of the outside of the house yesterday, so if you want to go back and watch that, I'll link it down below. But today we're gonna try and figure out how we're gonna furnish the inside of the house. So I want to show you around. My idea is that you walk in through the front door right here, and we're gonna have, I assume, like a living room space in this big open area. Over here, we're gonna have like a little fake garage sort of workshop space for my sim. We've got the staircase here, and then on this side is gonna be like a joint kitchen dining area. The inside of this space really isn't that big, so it shouldn't be too bad to furnish. In the back, we've got a little hallway and then the main primary suite. I laid out the bathrooms in kind of a weird way because I wanted to have a big ensuite bathroom and a hall bathroom, so we've got a couple bathrooms right here. And then upstairs, I managed to fit in 3 more bedrooms and 2 more bathrooms. And now that I've kind of showed you around, let's actually jump into the speed build and start getting this furnished. I won't lie, I think building houses for Sims that I'm actually playing with is kind of scary because there's like so much pressure. I'm generally kind of picky about my Sims builds, but when I've actually got a Sim that I'm so attached to living there, I'm like extra picky. So this speed build is kind of interesting. It also has a couple kind of fun features. You'll see that I'm actually starting off with the fake garage. Now I should clarify, there's not actually a garage here. It's not really a garage space. We don't have garages in The Sims 4. We also don't have cars in The Sims 4. So that car that you're seeing in the driveway is not really a car. It's not really a driveway. And this one is not really a garage. The driveway is actually a roof piece that I made like super long, so it looks like kind of a sloped driveway space. The car is a debug car, like just a fake one. Your Sims can't actually even interact with it. You can't even click on it. It's purely decorative. The garage door isn't a garage door. It's actually just a big sliding door from Snowy Escape. It looks like it's maybe a similar size to a garage door though, so it kind of passes as one. And then of course in this tiny garage space, a car wouldn't even fit. But instead I put things like some storage, an easel, there's like a treadmill. But really this is supposed to be my Sim's workspace because the Sim that's going to live here is named Blue. Their last name is Bell, so their name is Blue Bell, and they like flowers. So they're gonna be like using the flower arranging table and stuff, so I wanted them to have a little workspace. And then for the rest of the house, I kind of tried to go for like a more gray and white and like wooden color scheme, sort of like the outside. Of course with some blue accents because, you know, the Sim's name is Blue. It's only fitting. I think this build is probably one of my most favorite Sims builds I've done in a really long time. I say it's stressful for me to build houses that I actually have Sims playing in because I get so picky, but it's honestly a good thing that I get this picky because I feel like it turns out really nicely when I do. But I think I also just really like how this house is big, but it's not too big. There's something about giant Sims houses that I don't really like. I find them kind of annoying to play in. This one is completely on platform, so it's gonna be annoying to play in, but it isn't that bad. And the actual interior space is kind of small, it's kind of cozy, everything fits really well, so I'm really excited to play in this house. That's the other thing about this. I got a little bit overconfident with the budget on this one. So to catch you up to speed, the Sims from this family have 142,000 simoleons. I checked. And I originally decided to build the house with 120,000 because I thought, you know, it'd be good to have some wiggle room. It'd be all right if we, you know, didn't use all of the money up on the house. It's probably a safe bet to give myself a little bit less for starters, just to be safe, you know? And so this house, I thought I had plenty of money. I was going through, I was doing great. I was spending and spending and spending on the outside. And then I got to the interior and you'll see that I've only furnished a couple of rooms. I did the bathrooms, I did the like garage and the kitchen. And now I have like 28,000 left to do all 4 bedrooms and the living space. So I was definitely cutting it a little bit close budget-wise. I even gave myself an extra like 5,000 to do the bedrooms and I still was cutting it close. So at the end of this video, I think I want to go through and move my Sims in because I want to like put all their family photos up and bring their little decor objects. I've got like fire ants I always keep in the kitchen, so I need to bring all those things into the house. But I also might see how we're actually doing with the budget and then maybe add a couple things depending on where we're at, because I do want to make sure we have a little bit of money left over, but like I also want to have a nice house, so I'll probably, you know, make some adjustments once the speed build is over and we actually go start moving the Sims in. That's the thing. I didn't actually build this lot for the speed build in their real house, like with the real Sims and their real household and things, because one, it was kind of laggy in the save because it's old and kind of has problems, but also I was kind of worried about like messing it up, and I thought that maybe it would be easier if I just built the house like normal, didn't put any of my weird things in it, put the normal house on the gallery, and then went back and added my weird things to it, because this version is already a little bit weird. It has like the, you know, piranha pond in the front yard. The last thing you need is like all of my silly little collectibles. You don't need to have my fire ants on the kitchen counter, you know? I'm curious to hear in the comments if any of you do weird things like that too with your Sims families. Like, do any of you have long-standing Sims families that have sort of interesting interests that you always bring around with you everywhere? I know a lot of people don't always play with like super long Sims families either. Like this one is 8 generations. That's like not that common to keep playing that far. A lot of people do, but certainly not everybody. I think there's kind of a couple different groups of simmers. There's like the half that makes a sim, builds a house, and then doesn't play again after that. And then the half that like plays with the same family always on like long lifespan, never ages the Sims up or anything. And then there's me, who kind of does both, except I guess this family's on short lifespan, so they do age up and they do die frequently, which is why I call it the Nightmare Legacy Challenge. I'll link the playlist down below if you want to go back and watch it, but this challenge is quite fun. Anyway, all of that to say, the downstairs of this house is a little bit more detailed than the upstairs. The upstairs is also a bit smaller. In fact, the bedrooms in this house are actually quite small. I know I was just talking about how I like having a smaller house, but when I built this, I kind of got on the inside and I was like, this is really small. Like the bedrooms are really not very large, which I know I was kind of hoping for, but I also kind of surprised myself with the scale of them because we're coming from a way bigger house. We're kind of downsizing, but the backyard's like nicer. It's weird. The other kind of weird thing that I struggled with here was that I felt like the garage didn't really have a good space for a door because I really wanted to have the garage. That was kind of like the whole point of the build for me, but I felt like there wasn't really a good space to stick the door into there on this big wall where I had put the TV. It almost looked a little bit out of place to me. So I really did try to make it all blend in and fit, but I acknowledge that maybe something about it seems a little off. I tried. I think you'll also notice that cats were a big priority for me in this house. I put more than one cat tree here. I only have one cat. My sim doesn't have like, you know, an army of cats or anything, but I wanted the cat to have a very happy life. And so they have a cat tree right there in the living room. They've got another bigger one upstairs in the hallway. Like I was really trying to prioritize the cat. Look, I've got a real problem with having, okay, this is specifically a Sims problem, just to clarify, but I've got a real problem with having pets in the Sims and then not giving them enough attention and then them running away in my Let's Play episodes. I think it happens more often in households like this where I've got so many Sims, because here we've got like my new legacy heir, their brother, their mom, 2 of their grandparents, they've got the cat, like there's just so many Sims here, there's always so much going on that I get a little bit overwhelmed, and then the cat sort of becomes less of a priority, which is really bad, I know. In The Sims 3, I used to have this problem, but I could like see the pet's needs, and so I'd be like, oh no, the pet's social is low. Let me go like control the cat and have it interact with the dog so they can befriend each other and not be sad anymore. But in The Sims 4, I can't see their needs, and they also get uncomfortable a lot for things that like aren't need related. They're just like scared of the dishwasher, and so I kind of just ignore their little like orange face portraits. And then the cat runs away, and I'm a really bad Sims pet owner. Again, this is specifically a Sims problem, okay? My cat in real life is very spoiled and very loved and has a lot of attention because I don't have any other friends. So it's just me and her really. But like in The Sims, I do a bad job. So I tried in this house to, you know, put reminders to make it more obvious to me that there is a creature that I need to interact with. Anyway, this bedroom down here is gonna be Blue's bedroom, like the new primary suite. So I managed to put in a fireplace. I realized when I was furnishing that I had built these like 2 giant chimneys on the front and the back of the house that were like major features of the home. And then I didn't even have a fireplace anywhere because I put the kitchen in front of one of them. And so I was like, okay, we have to have a fireplace in this bedroom. Otherwise the chimneys are completely useless. So I made sure we had a fireplace in there in the bedroom. We also have a fireplace on the patio outside, but like you don't very well need a chimney on the inside of the house because you got a fireplace on the patio, do you? So I wanted to have an extra one inside. The upstairs actually has a quite big landing, and I kind of wanted to make sure it was actually usable space. So I put a desk there, and I ended up putting a cat tree as well, like I had mentioned. Although in the speed build, I don't place down a computer because I realized that I was really doing bad when it came to money. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just won't put a computer here, and then I'll take my Sims computer from home. I'll bring theirs. We can use our own computer. We've got a computer at home. That was one of those times where I was like, okay, we really only have like 8K left left. Yeah, that's not enough money to furnish 3 bedrooms. And so I tried to like tone it back a little bit. These bedrooms are also a little bit like goofier because they're sort of designed for specific Sims. I mentioned that my Sims grandparents live with us, and that's because they had previously died, lived with us as ghosts for a long time. They had like a ghost themed room, a much more overstated ghost themed room, not as subtle as this one. And so I decided in this house, I wanted to sort of continue that ghost theme, but maybe have like a more slight ghost accent wall instead of like the glow in the dark blue and green ghosts. I just used like a white ghost wallpaper on one of the walls. It's a little bit more subtle. The Sims aren't even ghosts anymore. I brought them back to life. I'm not joking, by the way. And so I just, you know, let's understate it instead. We also have a really small bedroom for Blue's brother. I feel bad because his room at the old house was huge. Like it was way bigger compared to this one, but now he's got a much sadder looking bedroom in this house. It's really tiny, but he'll move out soon and then it'll be a baby's room eventually. So it's fine. He'll get over it. He's a teen. He's only like freshly a teen, but you know, he'll move out soon. It's fine. And then the last bedroom is Blue's mom's bedroom. And so in the old house, she has like sort of bright wallpaper, lots of bold colors in there. And so I kind of wanted to continue that in here. Although it does mean the bedrooms upstairs are a lot different from the downstairs sort of theme. The downstairs is all very cohesive and then upstairs it's just not. Although I think that like this smaller sports themed room does kind of fit in to the other spaces, but and I guess the ghosts aren't so bad. They're just kind of silly. They're just kind of silly and on the wall there, nothing to see here. But yeah, you're probably noticing that we're really running low on money right now. Like we have this giant room left to furnish and like 2,000 simoleons. So I definitely was kind of like, maybe I'll hold off on putting a ton of furniture. So once we actually go into the game in a second, I really want to make sure that I, you know, add some extra things in here. I'd like to try and bring some furniture with us to put in this room because I'm feeling like it's a little bit sad at the moment. I do love the wallpaper though. I tried to go for this sort of like red wallpaper and then I noticed that it had some pretty green flowers and birds that I sort of used as an accent color with the bed and stuff. And I thought it looked really good together, but you know, I just couldn't do much more than that, unfortunately, because we didn't really have a lot of money for much else. But that, my friends, is pretty much the entire spee build of the furnishings. So now I want to actually jump back into the game, like I mentioned, and place this house down on my legacy challenge lot. Today is moving day, and so I want to make sure we actually like decorate the house, bring our photos, and all of that sort of thing. In fact, this is almost a little bit upsetting because I am moving in real life in like a week, so maybe this is a little bit too real. Anyway, we live all the way back here on this lot in Oasis Springs, across the street from the land grabs, but the land grabs are all dead, and I also kind of like infiltrated their family. Oh, my sim is mortified. That's great. Imagine he dies while we're trying to redo the house. So this was the old house. I still think this house is so beautiful. I am gonna miss this house so much. But before we leave, I want to go through and like, you know, kind of steal some of my important things. For example, I cannot forget my cow plants. I have a couple of them. I'll probably bring all of our plants too, because we do have a garden in the back of the new house that I want to make sure we can fill up. Why? Who put dirty plates on this shelf? Why have you done that? Okay, well, we have this like wedding bouquet, fire ants, Chef Gino. And as you can see, we've got family photos like literally everywhere. So we need to be careful to not forget any of them, but I'm gonna go through and grab like all the stuff first. Things like this bag of cash. We've got like these little items everywhere we wanna bring. Future cube, can't forget that. This item in particular is extremely important. That's my fire toilet. It spontaneously combusts, so we can't lose that one. Oh, here's a stolen necklace. Yeah, I'm gonna want that. Okay. In here in Blue's bedroom, I had a couple of postcards. This was like a prom thing we won. Oh, I loved Blue's room. I'm kind of sad. I don't want to move. Wait, can I take it back? Can I stay in this house? I'll probably bring the laptop too, because we're gonna need a couple extra computers. I will bring this one as well, because we're gonna need that at home. Okay, what are these pictures that Blue already has? They're like nothing, right? Yeah, okay, just sell those. And then I'll stick all of the photos we were using in Blue's inventory so that we don't forget any. I've got loads, by the way, like so many more than even just these. I've been putting family photos everywhere in these houses this whole time. I've become very attached to these Sims. I put a crying mirror in the ghost room. That's kind of cruel. They even had ghosts on their patio. It was really nice. They're definitely downgrading in the new house for sure. Oh no, I forgot forgot I still had this. That's Pepper and her ex-wife. She's still got her ex-wife on the wall in her bedroom. Oh God. Okay, yeah, let me move those. Oh, she's got a wedding photo in their bedroom too. Yikes. That was wrong of me. I'm sorry. I should have noticed that sooner. I really should have noticed that sooner. Oh my God, I almost forgot my chickens. That would have been really bad actually. They're gonna die soon. Are they all dead? Oh no, we have one left. Okay. Oh, Betty's only an adult. Oh, we've got time with Betty, it seems. All right, I am saving the game before we forget. We'll make a new save. All right, I think I've gone through and triple checked everything and got all of the stuff that we need. I'm gonna bulldoze the lot now. Oh my God. Okay, it looks like we've got a couple things in our inventory that we could sell too. Stuff that I probably don't like super need. Like, why do I have all of these hollies? Oh no, we're not gonna have that much money. This one is like 126,000, I think. So it leaves us with 7K. Okay, 7,000 simoleons and most of the house is done. So we should be okay. I just need to make sure I go through and put like all of the necessary items back. For example, my chickens, well, chicken singular needs to go in their little yard. I guess I didn't really think about the fact that not all of the flowers can go in these vertical gardens, but at least the death flower can go over here. And let me plant my daisies, so that's nice, right? You can't plant death flowers in those at all. Why not? What if I want to have a wall of death flowers? Okay, well, for example, I thought we could put the fire toilet in this little tiny bathroom right here because it's like easy access. Everyone's gonna use it. This seems like a good spot. Upstairs, I will stick that computer and maybe some of the other things like the books that we had and like the bag of money over there. If you were me, where would you put this stolen necklace? Because I'm not really sure. I mean, it'd be a little bit odd just like in the bedroom, but it's like a family heirloom. I have also literally always hung up these absolutely revolting pictures. This one's good. This one is truly the worst thing I've ever seen. So I like to put those out on display. And we've got a couple kind of funky little like decor things. Like that's pretty cool. I also have this clown one. I want to put him somewhere, but oh, maybe he'll fit in this shelf. Oh, you can put the wedding bouquet in there. That's cute. I hadn't thought, let's put that up there. Let's display it. And then I'll put the clown like right there maybe. Future cube. This is that prom award that we got. So maybe I'll put that down here. Oh, where'd I get these knives from? Let's use those. The fire ants can live near the knives, maybe? The little like danger corner? Is there any other space for this laptop? Like nobody else, oh, I guess there's a desk right here so we can put it in here. I also have some kind of fun little things like this octopus. That kind of matches this room because of the purple. Is this painting like really out of place? I kind of like it, I don't know. Why is there like no wall space left? How did I fill in like every single wall in the whole house? Okay, I can put, maybe the postcards can go over here. I also need to get my cow plants back. I still have this dead one that I've had for ages. Oh, my landscaping looks a lot worse when it's fall. Everything's dead over here. Should I put the dead cow plant? Like maybe hang on, wait. Maybe we could have like the living and the dead one kind of together. And then this one is gonna be new. So maybe I'll leave it over here just so I make sure to water it, you know, keep it in my line of sight. Originally, I had put a couple of these pictures in as like filler so I could replace them with family photos. Okay, hold on. Let me try and arrange like a gallery wall of some sort on this wall. Okay, at this point we have so many Sims that it's kind of hard to put up pictures of all of them, but I kind of like how this gallery wall looks, and I think I want to do it with the blue frames. I know that's kind of weird, but I almost think it looks kind of cool. Okay, I had this idea to do like a wall of the pets on this side. We've had more pets than we have space to put photos of, but I like the idea of having like a bunch of pet photos here. We have a couple more recent ones. Like this picture is of Tofu, the brand new cat, and that's Cookie, the one that just died like kind of recently. But this one, this is Mr. Wiggles, and that's my raccoon. I forgot what its name was, but you know. We could put those there. I'm trying to hang up some more recent photos too of like the current gen Sims. These are Blue's parents before they got divorced, and that's Blue and their mom. That's Blue's grandma with her kids at the wedding, the first wedding, because she had to have two because she died, and then I had to get married again to her ghost. Oh, see here, this is fun. We've got like a photo from the day they got married and then one from the day they got divorced. Okay, it's very hard for me to see this wall to make sure they're all in line, but it'll be fine. Those are definitely not all in line. Okay, I need to do it from a different angle or something. This looks terrible. All right, maybe I can see it from this side. Is that okay? You know what? How closely am I gonna look at that really? Like that's probably fine. You know, now that I think about it, I need to take some more photos before these Sims go and die again. Like Blake's on their way out again. So we'll need to do a little photo session. But I think right now I'm really happy with how things are looking. Oh no, I forgot a wall. Okay, never mind. Oh God, Blake has like even more photos. Oh, that's a dead dead cow plant picture. That's perfect, actually. Put that one on display in the kitchen, okay? And I think with that, I'm really happy with how the house is looking. I feel like it looks lived in. We got all of our stuff back. Thank you for putting up with me doing my little like gallery wall sessions, because I know that a lot of you maybe don't know these Sims and don't care, but it's kind of fun to like put pictures of your Sims up on the walls, because I've had these Sims for so long. We have like so many photos. It's fun to put like old ones from older generations up and stuff. But anyway, this house is finished. It is on the gallery, but don't worry, I've got like a pre-photo version up on the gallery, so it shouldn't be marked as having any CC or anything. The game is so weird. These photos are obviously not CC. They're like in-game pictures, but the gallery thinks they are sometimes. If you want to go back and watch the first half of this build video, I'll link that down below for you. And tomorrow I'm gonna post the next Let's Play episode if you want to watch that. This Let's Play is like kind of starting a new mini series because it's a new generation, so now's a really good time to tune in if you want to. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And I think with that, I will stop rambling in your ear and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. Of course, literally right as I'm finishing this, they're using like a leaf blower outside. So I'm really sorry if you can hear that. There's always so much noise on Tuesday mornings here.